too. So,
Okay, I'm going to just
oh,
put
do
it.
we need the big light on?
It is on.
You got it on. Okay, cool.
Okay, all I'm gonna say is I didn't like this movie, and Warner Brothers can, yes. Jupiter Ascending, yes. King Arthur Legend of the Sword, yes. Legend of Tarzan, yes. Scoob, yes. Space Jam: A New Legacy, yes. This movie was not up to par with those.
It was better.
This movie makes Jupiter Ascending look like an original story. It rips off so many things. And Zack Snyder, who's the director, I'm not going to bash Zack Snyder personally, but I'm just going to say this is almost like a parody of Zack Snyder films. It's the not another church movie for Zack Snyder.
What?
Everything from slow mo to Sucker Punch to his DC movies to it wouldn't shock me if Watchmen and Zombie. For all I know, there's a zombie and there's the Spider Lady and stuff. So this to me is almost like take every single Zack Snyder trope and cliche that you've seen, and then take every single sci-fi space opera trope and cliche that you've seen, and add in, well, just about every other space movie of the last 25 years. I'm gonna get this review out kind of quick, so go ahead, say the plot.
Okay. First of all, it was called Rebel Moon Part 1,
Oh,
A Child of Fire.
oh, by the way, we're reviewing the PG-13 version. Yes, I know there's an R-rated version. I don't care. I'm not gonna watch 3.5 hours of this.
Okay, so this girl is in this village, and you don't know too much of her background until the mothership comes and brings down people. Um, the father of the group, they sounded a lot Irish or whatever.
Irish,
Yeah,
Australian,
there was a
Scottish.
mix of people. They were simple farmers, and the one guy who had sold half of their surplus the year before to rebel fighters or whatever, insurgents or whatever.
Oh, by the way, this is set on some moon planet, or on some moon.
Yeah,
I just thought it took place on Earth.
because it was lush green and
Zack Snyder, you
waters and
ripped off my plot.
sunshine and
Zack Snyder, you ripped off my better plot twist for The Village.
okay. So she was like in this village, and these people come down and they're talking. And he said, "Well, I don't have a supply right now. Can't we talk about this?" And then the one guy opens his mouth and says, "Oh, we do have an oversupply." And yeah, then you kind of
Bugs
fell
Life.
asleep. You had to go take a nap.
Yes, I was 20 minutes in. I've been up for I've been up for like 8 hours, and wow, it's boring. I'm sorry, but it's boring. And I
Okay,
also question you
so
about how Frogs was too much for you, but this and Bullet Train and Lost City were totally appropriate.
okay, so back to the plot a little bit. So we find out a little more about her. She was going to be leaving the village because she didn't want to surrender, and she knew everybody was going to get killed if they surrendered, and if they gave most of their crop to this
But if they
mothership.
gave up too much, they'd starve or
Right.
barely have
Enough.
enough.
Right. There
Yeah,
wouldn't be
like I
enough.
said, ripping off A Bug's Life.
Okay. So then the soldiers that got left to stay there, they wanted this girl, she was a water girl or whatever they were calling her.
Oh
They
yeah,
wanted to turn her into a,
wench.
yeah. And this girl that was leaving had heard this and she was quite upset. And then one of the soldiers was quite upset. And then here comes the metal guy that she kind of had a moment with and gave him a daisy.
R2D2.
Yeah, sort of, I guess. Gave him a daisy crown. And they
Oh,
had a moment
who
about
was the guy that played him?
um,
It was that actor that I said.
yeah,
Uh,
I can picture him. Wasn't he in Hannibal?
yeah,
Okay.
Anthony Hopkins, right?
Yes, yes, thank you. So, this girl kind of took out almost everybody in that was fighting,
Sucker Punch.
and I thought you were gonna do Kill Bill Kill or whatever.
I'm talking about Zack Snyder films.
Okay, and so then they just have the one person left that is holding the girl by her throat with a gun or a knife or whatever.
GoldenEye.
And here comes the metal guy, and he kills him. So then she was free. Um, but they had all gotten together and they needed to figure out what they were doing. So then she's like, if I could find this person, then we could have a chance. So
The Seeker of the Dark is Rising.
the the guy that sold them out because they wanted 3/4 of their crop, and then the father was
Cutthroat
killed
Island.
and his wife. And he's like,
Man of
he was
Steel.
going to take her to the one guy. And so they're in
Jupiter
this,
Ascending.
they're in this island or plot or city or something.
Have you
And
gotten
they're
to
in
the
a
bird?
bar. No, they're in a bar, and this big lumpy guy wanted
Holiday
to
special.
wanted to have the man traveling with her as his boyfriend.
Spaceballs.
So she was like, nope, not going to happen. I'm just giving you this chance to leave. Well, he finally left, but then he came back with more people, and she kind of took care of all of them except for the guy that had the ship. He was the one that took out the man that was going to shoot her, Lumpy or whatever. Lumpy, whatever.
Star Wars original trilogy.
So then they go with him in his ship, and then he's like, well, I have to stop someplace, and this person might help us or whatever.
Yogi's Gang.
Where was the first place they stopped? The guy with the bird.
Aragon.
So this guy had a debt to pay, and he was chained to doing this work.
He looks like he just
And
came off the set of the Asylum's Tarzan.
yeah, and then the guy said, okay, the debt will be free if you can go free if you can ride that bird. And he's like looking at it.
My cousin Vinny.
And then she says to him, can you ride him? Yes, yeah. So then he starts talking in a language the bird could understand.
Yeah, there were only a few parts that were subtitled.
And then he could like ride it. So they were soaring all around.
Last Airbender?
And then
Well, actually, that scene kind of reminded me more of the Avatar.
oh my God, you're so funny.
Keep going.
So he rides them and they're sailing and they're free and everything else.
Star Wars.
So he brings them back to the pen, the corral. And then the guy says, you are free. So he leaves and he's by the ship and he's watching this guy try to ride him. And the bird knocked him off and then just kind of clawed him. So he didn't make it. So hopefully the bird was then free. So then the lady was like, well, do you got any more stops that we can do before? And he goes, yeah, I think I got another one. So they go to another one, and it's this lady that she's a Asian swordswoman.
Is this the one? Oh, no, not this. Is the Spider Girl you're talking about,
Yeah.
too? Okay.
Uh-huh. And so then she had to take care
James
of
and the
business.
Giant Peach.
Had to take care of business because the spider could no longer produce babies, her eggs were all infected and they wouldn't live. So she had a child that she was going to kill, and she was going to kill a child of every mother on that planet, land, whatever, until they could feel what she was feeling and what's taken away from her. So then the sword lady has to get going here, and she starts chopping limbs of this spider.
Disney's Hercules, the remake of Clash of the Titans.
And then she gets the back end, and the spider is starting to like. "Meow."
Gods of Egypt?
And then she goes with both of her lightning rod swords. And the guy that got them into all of this mess, he helped save the child. But she ended up killing
Ken?
the spider. So then she joined forces. Then they had to make another stop to get the general who was all drunk and everything. Remember? Oh, don't you have a movie for this? No?
Do you have one?
So then they stop and they're taken to the general who is drunk as a skunk. They had to sober him up. He didn't want to be called general
Actors
anymore.
in Uwe Ball films just to get them on set. Ray Liotta, Michael Madsen, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, I have seen a bird. Oh, wait, never mind. Okay, keep going.
I have to clean
Keep
something
going.
up.
Keep
I have
going.
to clean something up.
Oh, jeez.
I killed the
Oh,
spider,
okay.
so we're
Fun
going to
fact.
get.
Fun fact. This was originally written to be a Star Wars movie.
Well, I think it did. It kind of, in the beginning, I thought it was Star Wars with this big mothership, and it almost looked like a submarine in water.
Brothers, stop ripping off Disney. Jeez.
It really looked like a submarine in water
Austin
that
Powers.
had plants or
Or
planets
Steven,
around.
or Steven Seagal submerged.
So anyway, they get the general cleaned up. They paid somebody to bathe him, and then he's like, so he joins forces. So then they have one more
Have you
stop.
gotten to the African American guy yet?
That was the general.
Jimon Hansu, who I know from Push and from Never Back Down, where he was basically the Mr. Miyagi of Never Back Down.
Okay. So now they go to another place and they gain some more men.
Star Wars prequel.
Then the final place. They were going to a unregistered supply depot exchange thingy. All of these planets they went like they put on the screen.
Jupiter Ascending, I guess.
Put on the screen where they were going. So this is
Rock
the
and Roller
place
Coaster starring
that
Iron Man.
he sold them out. And did you want to finish it, or
I don't care.
because it was kind of boring to you? So they finish. Here comes the mothership, and these like, what do you want to call them, crabs or whatever? But they have, or it's a scorpion like. Then they captured them. So the 5 people.
The remake of Clash of the Titans again.
So then the farmer was supposed to like sterilize them by putting injection into them that would go through their neck. But instead, what he did is he let them go, and he did
Victor
it to
Frankenstein.
he did it to the guy that that sold them out.
Or Bullet Train.
So then he got all of them released. They were all fighting, and then this one guy who had blue on his face, and the one girl said that she
Avatar.
volunteered to save him and bring him back, and he ran up this ramp because one of the guys was going to um, shoot everybody down from a little capsule. So he went in there and he shot
Powerpuff
them.
Girls episode.
and then he stabbed him again. He got shot again. He stabbed him again, and then he fell
To
into
boldly
it.
flee.
He fell into it, and the lever he pressed the lever, and so now the ship was going down. Everybody was on the ship that was getting killed off.
However, what's kind of scary is that the ship, it didn't go down like this. It kind of went down like this, and I'm
It
like,
kind of went straight and then tilted.
yeah, and it's like, Zack Snyder, you're kind of reminding me of a tragic event.
So then she is on the platform with the guy that was ahead of the ship, and
Titanic.
it could have been. It could have been. Yeah, they went
Keep
in
going,
water.
keep going.
So then she took care of him.
For Avatar 2, I guess.
She took care of him, and then they were all reunited. And so then they were all headed back, I guess on the guy's ship that got killed. They were headed back to his village, and you could see that they were still there. Oh, and the tin guy was in the field, and he had antlers now. So I don't know if that was a crown that they gave him, or a hat, or something to scare off the birds from eating all the wheat.
Also, the I don't know who it was. Dude that had like craters in his body. That
Getting
guy,
electrical outlets.
yeah, that guy, he's dead. So they then like do something where he's
Charge them back up.
yeah, and then he's kind of like in the fetal position in like a
An embryo sac.
symbolism.
So they sent
The
him.
Matrix Dark City.
They sent him to the land that
Batman v
you want
Superman
me to
Justice League.
finish? Okay. So then he ends up on the land with um the man that took her in as his child, and she was made like first lieutenant. She was taught how to be a fighter and everything, and that's kind of where they ended. This group of 6 people left over are riding to the village, and he is being told that he has to bring his daughter back alive. Everyone else can be killed, but his daughter had to come back alive. And so there you go. If you like Star Wars, yeah, I don't know. I didn't fall asleep. Okay, that was pretty good.
I guess this is a little better than Rogue One, but
I don't know.
That's
I don't remember Rogue One.
exactly. You reviewed
But
that a few
anyway,
weeks ago too.
anyway, we've got some things to do. So, would you recommend it?
No!
It is a long movie. I don't know if we will see Rebel Moon Part 2, the Scar Giver. She was called the Scar Giver. That was her nickname when she was in the army. So
Lion King.
Scarface. This is Scar
No, that
Giver.
was his name was just Scar. You're thinking
Ah.
of the Al Pacino movie.
Sorry, wrong. Yeah. Anyway,
Totally
so
the same movie.
what do we have
Al
next?
Pacino, Jeremy Irons, same thing.
What do we have next?
Join us next time when we'll see the final episode of Space Month with Mama Gerbil allegedly eating babies. Okay, bye!
Bye. Save me.